Hey, this is Ian from Hyperize. In this video, we're going to be covering some simple tips that you can use within your HubSpot sales outreach to significantly increase engagement and people taking your call to action. And when I'm talking about significantly, I'm going to share some case studies later on in this video that show where some of our customers have 2 to 3 times, in some cases, their response rates, their engagement rates in their cold outreach and their sales and marketing emails. So what we're going to do first of all is talk about the issues that we see presently in terms of user engagement. User engagement is getting harder and harder. We're being bombarded by messages, thousands of messages a day, and with those increased amount of messages, the amount of engagement in that content is increasing, going down. The amount of time we have to engage our users is reducing. And what that means, how that manifests itself, is in the cost to acquire a customer is going up and up. Conversion rates goes down, you have to spend more to get the same, or you end up getting less. And over the last 5 years, it has increased over 50%. And we can see, looking at this graph here, this phenomenon is not specifically to B2B, it's B2B and B2C. Ultimately, we're all being bombarded as messages with messages in both channels, in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in emails, all social channels, everywhere. And so that saturation is to be seen across all types. And this is where part of the solution starts to bubble up. I think about these sales outreach that we're doing via LinkedIn or email or whatever they may be. They're inherently textual based, but whereas now we're predominantly visual based. Think about all of the about 87% of the traffic on the internet is images and videos. Think about most channels, what you're going to see is visualization of the call to action. But when we resort to sales outreach, we revert mainly back to text. So using images in our outreach that mimic or reference or back up or reinforce our call to action, that visualize our call to action, that's going to help transfer that information and help communicate it better. But when we include personalization in those images, in that visualization, it's going to trigger a pattern interrupt. And because most of us are visual learners, but because we all process images so significantly quicker than text, it just puts a brake on the brain when we see something that's personalized to ourselves in those images, and the way that the brain's processing an image so quickly, it's like, oh, you need to pay more attention to that. And that kind of increased mind share leads to increased engagement, and that increased engagement leads to more people taking your call to action. So those pattern interrupts, psychological behavior, is kind of hardwired into us, that we're going to create these reactions. And so then when we've opened that door, obviously it's all about how are we going to kind of drive that, how are we going to drive that engagement, and that's really down to having that image being purposeful, it matching our call to action. And obviously Hyperize, at its core, what we're offering is dynamically personalized images. So you create one image template, you drop it in your HubSpot email template, and bam, it's going to personalize dynamically on the fly without any additional input from you. So it's a time saver, it's increasing engagement, it's going to increase your sales, your bottom line, however you choose to look at it. Now, as I mentioned just as we started this video, this is we're going to provide to you actionable insights from here. And so what we're also going to do is provide you with a complete free access to Hyperize to prove this for yourself. We're going to give you a free trial, and on top of that, we're going to give you a discount for longer term use once you've decided and proven that in the free trial that it's going to work for you. So make sure you watch until the end of the video where we'll give you that code. But for now, let's jump in and look at how we can make personalization purposeful. So obviously what we're going to talk about, and the purpose of using it within HubSpot, is using it in our email. So we've got a couple of different examples here, and what we're looking at here is a call to action. For example, this is an image that I would use where I'm saying, hey, let's jump on a call. And rather than framing that as a sales call, I'm saying, hey, let's have a chat and a coffee about that. So I'm using that kind of prop, if you like, or that framing of let's have a coffee in my GIF. I'm humanizing that. The call, the action is going to meet me. We're going to have a demo call, but we're framing it as a chat and a coffee. It's nice and friendly. We're visualizing that, as you can see, and we're also putting through personalization in terms of the person's first name, their business name, their logo, and also a screenshot of their website. And obviously we can see the response here from Edgar. I never reply to these emails. This is the first one that worked. And that's really what we're trying to do. And obviously Edgar, you can see here, director of demand generation. So he's no wet behind the ears person who's easy to kind of grab their attention on. So when it works with somebody as seasoned as Edgar here, you know that it's going to have an impact. Let's look at the next one. So maybe your call to action isn't humanized. It isn't going to be one-to-one on a demo call. Maybe you have a SaaS product where you want to put someone in a self-serve trial. So this is what HubSpot did. They visualized their product instead. You can see here they've got their dashboard in their app. In this example, it's all personalized to Tim Cook from Apple. And so we can see the logo, the profile elements, the name, even the map here, all personalized dynamically to each recipient. And what that did is it 4x'd their CTA. So they have 4 times as many people taking their self-serve trial based on them visualizing, wow, look at this amazing dashboard. Look how improved your life's going to be when you've got this simple reporting or this, advanced access to the capabilities that they provide. Just summing all of that up in a picture, as they say, picture paints 1,000 words. And when that personalization's triggered that pattern interrupt and pulled them in, they're going to lavish all of those up. So a great way of applying that personalization. Here's another example, another client of ours, G2. They obviously provide a lot of reports and kind of enable businesses to get involved in those reports. And so showing that success, showing kind of examples or samples of the reports already personalized, showing a great position to the prospects, that increased their reply rate from 15 to 48%, a 3x uplift simply by using that strategy. There's a great testimonial here. We'll pin it on the end of the video from Jesse Rowe, head of marketing for G2, who inspired that campaign. But yeah, absolutely great uplift there, 3 times simply by creating these personalized images to reinforce their call to action. Here's another one of my favorites here, using the whiteboard, again, kind of having your salient point on the board, and kind of helping that kind of drive that engagement, so they're going to read the rest of your message. And you can see here the impact it's had from Jonathan. Maybe in this case it wasn't necessarily, he wasn't the right person within TFC marketing to reach out to, but because of the goodwill it's created from this personalized image, he's forwarded it onto his team because he appreciates the touch or the personalization. So really helping kind of break through those barriers and getting word of mouth referrals from potentially non-engaged buyers. Here's another one of our clients, again, really visualizing kind of their offer here in terms of a gift certificate. But still, despite having that gift certificate offer, still able to kind of get a massive uplift, a doubling of demos for what is quite a somber product in terms of cloud security, but also a high ticket value, 5-6 figure ticket value here, and still being able to kind of get that uplift, targeting C-level CISOs, etc. Another whiteboard example here for another one of our clients' staff circle. You can see here James, doing a great job celebrating and engaging with his prospect candidates in a really nice way here, humanizing, of course, but also a great way to kind of show your message and your kind of point in a way that's really going to make it's going to get read. Lots of other examples in here in terms of being able to visualize the choice, but Engage here really do take the biscuit for being able to increase the most, the 14x uplift here. Admittedly, their call to action was a little bit less in terms of just asking for feedback, so kind of taking part in a survey, but when they visualize and personalize those call to action with these image templates, you can see here 14 times as many clicks as when they just had the personalized short link option. So significant increased amount of learning there in their survey. Another one of our clients, Reply.io, they did a great job of visualizing their story. So taking what is a complicated process of what most people have already and kind of just really visualizing how simple it would be if they started using Reply.io. When they started to do that with these personalized images you can see here, just simple ones with logos being pulled through, they increased their reply rates from 11 to 21%, a massive uplift, which I'm sure was already a very optimized campaign, knowing the guys at Reply.io. Here's another example of the one that William at Reply.io is using. Again, diagrammatically showing the story or and personalizing that image, again using business names, images, and other personalized elements, and getting a great uplift in the response from that. Of course, it's not just about putting personalized images in your emails, it's about what you kind of do with that afterwards. So for example, all of these images can make clickable. So when somebody receives that really engaging email and they're super stoked, maybe you don't want them to reply, maybe you want them to click that image and go through to a personalized landing page. Because guess what? Personalizing your landing pages also has a massive impact. So HubSpot themselves did this survey over a 6-month time period, so quite a long time, and quite a lot of sites, over 300,000 sites they looked at, and what they found was more than a 2x uplift in conversions when personalization was used around the call to action. So making your images and your outreach personal, making the call to action personal, making the landing pages personal, we get this compounding impact where 2% uplift here, also 2x uplift here, 2x uplift there, all of a sudden you've got like a 6x uplift down at the bottom. You get a significant uplift throughout your funnel, meaning channels that were slow to develop and now you're burning hot go-to channels. Email can be a massive area if done right, if using all of these tick boxes. So let's not kind of labour anymore. Let's jump into how we can make these personalized images super simple with Hyperize and add them into our templates in HubSpot. So let's start off and create a brand new image from scratch. I'm going to jump into the image template here, and as you can see, we've got all of our personalization layer controls here on the left. We've got our main image canvas in the middle and our settings on the right. So I'm going to first of all start off by what we can do, clicking the canvas gets to our image library, and we can choose to upload any sort of image here that we want, that we have any kind of existing marketing images, a GIF that we've created, PNGs, SVGs, of course, as you can see, animated GIFs, and then start to add those into our outreach. In this case, rather than uploading an image, I'm going to choose a GIF I've already got created here and uploaded. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to adjust the image to match my canvas. So you can see in this case, I've got a simple setup of me set up my desk with the whiteboard next to me. So what I'm going to use that to put the message on there, and it's part of my outreach. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a text element here. I'm going to drag it over and put it on the canvas. What I'm going to do, first of all, in this text area, I'm going to drop in a merge tag. That's going to be a placeholder, and we're going to put in the first name here. Actually, what I'm also going to do is to style this up a little bit. This grey text not going to work, is it? So I'm going to go over here for the text settings, and I'm going to choose maybe a black font, and I'm going to choose maybe some font that looks like a little bit more like it's been written on the board. Maybe this permanent marker. I'm going to take the italic off there as well. Maybe increase the size. And I'm going to choose this fit to box. So what that means it's going to do is, so whatever the name of the site, whatever the length of the name, it's going to fit within that box. It's always going to be maximum, so it's going to be a maximum of 18 font size, but if it's got a super long name, it will start to reduce. So we're kind of maximizing the space there for the name. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this layer there, so we've got the same font select, etc. I'm just going to change this. I'm just going to have some text here, say, would love to chat. Maybe something like that. So they've got first name a bit bigger. Maybe we could kind of move this to 2 lines like that, 2 lines like that. And then we've got a bit of space here in the corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop their logo element. So I'm going to use the logo layer here. Just going to swizzle that around a little bit maybe, and then reduce the size. So it's going to fit more like that, and then put it in this corner over here. And also what I'm going to do it's going to go to logo settings. I'm going to make it round rather than square, so it looks maybe more like a sticker, let's say. And then finally what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this shape in here. And I'm going to go to shape settings. I'm going to change that to a heart just to give a little kind of logo love, as it were, there. And again, obviously we can change that size there just by reducing that and dropping that about there maybe. So let's just save that progress and let's do a little preview to see what it's going to look like. So now we can see we've got some opportunity here to put in some sample data just so we can see how the image is going to look. In this case, you can see I've got my go-to demo guy, tim@apple.com, and you can see we're pulling through his first name and obviously the Apple logo there. And what I can see from that is that maybe I'm going to move that text up a little bit. It seems to have got a cramming down on the logo and the love, but a bit more space there. So I'm going to go back. You can see, I can see that now, but obviously when we preview it, it's nice, easier to kind of spot that. Move it up a little bit. Happy with that now. I'm going to save that. I'm going to make it public, so that means that I can now start to use that in my outreach campaigns and in my template. So yeah, one final check. You see that's good. So now I'm going to choose the get image code here option, and now I'm going to add my integration. So of course in this case we're going to be adding HubSpot. So I'm going to choose HubSpot here. Now we do have two HubSpot integration options. If you want to do more marketing campaign in the HubSpot marketing section, obviously we can choose this. The purpose of this video, we're going to focus on using HubSpot sales and putting it in our email templates for our outreach in that way. So I'm going to choose HubSpot CRM. Now in this case, we've got this option here. Do you want to link your campaign to a landing page? So as we mentioned before, and as we saw in that deck, there's a lot of upside to personalizing your landing pages as well. So obviously, with wherever you've made your website, whether it's with a HubSpot landing page or whether it's on WordPress or whether it's on one of the other thousands of other website building tools, any of those sort of websites can be personalized using Hyperize as well. So we can personalize that landing page. So we can say yes to this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get, rather than just an image code, we're going to get an image code that's clickable. So what we can do is we can choose our website that we're going to send them to. So in this case, I'll just choose Hyperize. And we could also put in a sub page. So if I wanted them to go to a specific landing page that I have, I could put that in there. And I click next. And what that's going to do is going to give us the code that we need. So in this case, we can see we've got contact.firstname variable in there, which obviously is the HubSpot variable. So that's the kind of dynamic element. And Hyperize, you can replace that logo dynamically based on the business. Now, obviously, if we weren't reaching out to the businesses, then we would have included a logo. And we could also set that as a default to not show if we're going to find the logo. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to simply click this button here, copy content. That's, you can see we've copied my image now. We've got the clickable image option versus just the standard image. And so now what I can do is I can go over to HubSpot and I go over to my templates area. As you can see, I'm in already. I'm going to just start off by creating a new template from scratch. So I'm going to call this HubSpot demo just to give it a name for here. And maybe what I'm going to do is add some personalization in here. So let's say first name. Let's just love to chat. I don't think I've actually used it as a subject line, but let's just keep it simple for now. Say hi, and again let's stick in some personalization here. First name. Now what I'm going to do is I want to have my image here. Now probably I would put another sentence or so of introductory or personalized text in there before jumping into the image. So let's just kind of mimic that with some blurb here. But once we're kind of ready to put our image in, obviously we've copied it already from Hyperize, so it's still in the buffer, as it were. So all we need to do is right click here and choose paste, and that's going to copy that image in with all the clickable code as we saw before from Hyperize. And so we've got that, and you can see here that the image is set to be clickable too. Thanks. So we can finish off our email like that, save our template, HubSpot demo, and now whenever we want to use that template, either in a sequence or as part of coming back to a specific contact and kind of manually triggering an event. When we use the email, we're going to use either the sequence or the templates. We've got that personalization now. So in this case, you can see we've got our template just created here, HubSpot demo. And you can see in this case, this obviously template, this email is to Byron. You can see Byron pulling through, and also Byron is from SoulPub, and you can see we're putting through the SoulPub logo there. So it really helps to kind of create this personalization, as we saw from some of the examples before, leading to a 2, 3, even 14x uplift, by this simple change. So, what I would suggest to get started is going to hyperize.com. So coming here to hyperize.com and coming to this top right, as you can see here, starting your free trial. That's going to give you 14 days full access to the product. Simply put in your email and name address here. And of course, as I mentioned at the top, there is a 20% discount once you finish your trial using the code HubSpot20, that's HUBSPOT 20, when you start your subscription. I hope this video has been useful. Of course, there are lots more use cases beyond image personalization in emails, obviously website personalizing, etc. So do look out for other videos of how you can further your sales and marketing outreach funnels using Hyperize. Until then, catch you later. Bye-bye.